So I want to do a quick update video, a little follow-up to the video I made a couple of weeks ago about the attack that happened in Twickenham. Not a physical attack, but a verbal attack and a YouTube attack as well. And I've had lots of people contacting me and saying, what did you do? Did you go to the police? What happened? Don't leave it there. So okay, I want to bring you up to speed. It did escalate actually from that point. A few days later, somebody else came to the bus. An elderly lady, a very redoubtable elderly lady, who was obviously used to being in charge, one of those kind, right? And she knocked on the door, and opened the door, and she said, you have no right to be here. I'm like, oh, pardon, what? She said, you have no right to be here. You need to leave. I said, I'm really sorry. Who are you? And she said, you're making the neighbours uncomfortable. Okay, so there's that phrase again. See, that phrase was used in the original incident. I said, I see. Which neighbours would they be then? And she said, the neighbours. And she looked to the side, and I said, okay, so that street, I won't tell you the street, but I did say the street. And I said, if you have a look around, you can't see any houses. We were parked literally 5 minutes walk from the road where the people got so upset that we were there. And I said, where are the houses? What neighbours? I see no houses. We are parked. There is no sight of anybody. We are legally parked. We are not causing any trouble, any noise, any mess, any disturbance. We're just being quiet and nice. What? What did we do that causes such offence that has made everybody so upset? And she looked at me and she went, you came to our street. I kid you not. She said exactly that. You came to our street. I mean, you do kind of have to laugh, don't you, in a way? It's you know, if it wasn't so sad, it would be funny. Anyway, we bantered for a little bit longer with me arguing the toss with her, and her telling me that she was going to make sure that I left and could not come back. That's what she said. I'm going to make sure you leave and can't come back. And it leaves you speechless. My response to her was, and I really nailed it, guys. I really nailed it. I looked at her and I just went, go away, you silly woman. I mean, talk about the master of shining wit and repartee. Okay, it wasn't exactly what I would call the most piteous response. But the fact is, I don't want to get into any arguments with anybody. I don't want to shout and be accused of being angry and abusive or anything, because I'm not. I won't be pushed into it. Go away, you silly woman. And she stormed off in high dudgeon at that point. She walked off. Anyway, that was the point at which I decided I had to go to the police, because while I'm telling it for comic effect, I guess, to be honest, it was actually quite upsetting. And this has gone too far. I mean, I'm not being funny. We're 5 minutes walk away from this street. You can't see us. You have to come get us. You have to come walk past the pub, then round the corner and down a bit. And as I said, we are deliberately parked where there are no houses, nobody at all. So there is no offence that anybody can take. We are not blocking anybody's views. We are not doing anything wrong. Anyway, I did go to the police, and the police were lovely. And I spoke to the lady on the desk, the officer in charge, and she said, this is not right. And yes, you can make a legal complaint against them. You can file charges. And she said you can file charges on harassment, religiously aggravated harassment, I think. What else were there? There was malicious communication on a social media channel, and incitement to harass as well, and potentially intimidation, because that last one was intimidating. So so I took all of this and I wrote it down, and then when I got back I wrote a letter, and I wrote a letter to the guy whose house this was all centered around, the one who has been talking to the neighbors about how what did she say, uncomfortable he was feeling. So I wrote them a letter, and I said that this had obviously escalated now, because we'd had a visitation of someone who had actually come to find us, which is just completely crazy. And I told them I did not want to file charges. This was a due warning letter. And so I was giving them due warning that if I get any more negativity at all, that I can track back to the street in question, I will be coming after them personally, and I will file all of these charges against them, him personally. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be at war with anyone. I do not want to start a war. I do not want any aggression or any problem at all. So as long as there is no more negativity towards me, my husband, my bus, or my social media, as long as it is quiet, then all will be well. I don't want to make any trouble. Just leave me alone from now on. But this is your legal warning that this is what's going to happen. If anything else happens at all, that I can track back to you guys. Anyway, I got a visitation from the chap himself. He came to the bus that afternoon with another letter, and I didn't speak to him. I was in the back of the bus. Jeff was actually there this time, and Jeff opened the door and Jeff dealt with it. And basically the guy apologized, and it was a climb down. He wrote this letter that said, "We absolutely regret any discomfort caused. It was not our intention to cause any distress." And he also said, this is quite funny, he said, "I have no problem with tarot at all. In fact, my grandmother used to read tea leaves." I kid you not, that's what he said. He said, so, no issue with anybody. We don't want any more unpleasantness, of course, and we wish Janis well on her travels. Anyway, so I thought that was a very good sign. And pretty much that's all I wanted. I don't want to go to the police. I don't want to make anybody an example. I don't want to go to war with anyone. And the thing is, there's a lot of problem at the moment around Ham, I think, with a really large group of travellers who have pitched up on Ham Common, who are being really horrible to people, throwing eggs, and have left loads of plastic inflatables in the village pond and just trashed the place, basically. And you know what? That's not okay. That's not okay. And we're not part of any of that. We would never be part of any of that. We are not travellers per se as a lifestyle. And I'm not saying that all travellers are like that, because they're not. This is one group of people who are causing a lot of disruption and being very unpleasant. So the thing is that I think it's important that we don't badge everybody up as the same thing, okay? Because they're not. Just because somebody's staying in a bus does not mean that they are going to be disruptive. But the trouble is, that's what we do, isn't it? We lump everybody into the same thing. And it's been upsetting to me to be framed in that way, that I am apparently not welcome in polite company. And what's so upsetting is that when Jeff and I were in the cottage, we used to walk down that road regularly. Walking Flynn, and I have been known to say to Jeff on more than one occasion, "Look at this, it's such a gorgeous road. Wouldn't this be a dream come true to buy a house in this road and live here? Wouldn't this be wonderful?" And now I think what kind of hell would it be living amongst that community of narrow-minded, xenophobic, terrified little people? They may have money and they may have status and they may have these gorgeous houses and they are beautiful, but if something that small makes them that scared, my goodness, I mean, that's not any kind of life I would want to live. Anyway, I hope that's put that to bed. So we're here at the moment in Peacehaven, staying a few days with my dad, and then we'll be heading back to Twickenham next week, so we'll see. We hope that it will all be well and everything will be fine. There'll be another travel video coming out on Sunday, so watch out for that on the next stage of our journey as we head back through France. The travel videos run behind us, because we can't edit them quick enough, but bear with us. There's another one coming out on Sunday. They come out every Sunday, so looking forward to hearing what you think about our next travel video. In the meantime, I'll say goodbye and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.